Hello and welcome everyone to another night of CEVO Season 6. We'll start off in Week 3-2 for a match between Skadi Doesn't Know and Boreal Esports, and we'll have one more coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern. That'll be a Week 4 match. But before we get too far, I'm Helium, and joining me is Nahaz. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm good to be back into Dota here. I've not had much time lately, but boy, the metagame sure has shifted in the last couple of weeks. Right off the bat, we get a Juggernaut ban, and boy, with what we've seen recently, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, that is pretty much the shift right there. Ban or pick Juggernaut because the hero is really good. It's been buffed like continuously over the last couple of patches, and now people finally realizing just how strong it is.
Yeah, and the Brewmaster ban, hard to argue with as well. The Death Prophet's actually fallen off a little bit in the last few weeks, but still a pretty solid ban. I think there are a lot of good Death Prophet players out there, even though that strength gain nerf in 6.83 really does hurt her. Remember that it was a buff to Razor's strength gain that sort of vaulted him to the top of the metagame for a time. I actually think that Death Prophet is going to fall off really hard.
Yeah, she was already on the decline a little bit, getting nerfed with her exorcism, and I think it was just 6.82 one of those patches. Then I think it was a small nerf, or like small in the sense that it wasn't very announced, where they took damage off her Crypt Swarm, which also, that was 6.82C, I believe, and then also the strength coming off in 8.3. So she's definitely been hit, but she can still have a good game and get out of control. The push is still rather strong.
Oh my god!
And Boreal will go with that Omni Knight straight up.
Wow. Well, there goes the metagame talk. Oh my
this
goodness.
Is CEVO, man.
I love it, dude. I absolutely love it. I've kind of, it's one of my little New Year's resolutions. I want to cast a little bit more CEVO, a little bit more NEL, just a little more of these leagues where you get to see some different things. You get to see different laning situations, different hero picks. It's just, you know, it gives you a little bit of perspective, I think, on the game, even if you're used to watching really top level Dota. I mean, you know, Vengeful Spirit, obviously the conventional first pick of conventional first picks right now. I mean, she's the most picked hero in the current patch, but the first pick Omni Knight definitely not something you see a lot of.
Yeah, one team that is doing it is Wheelwreck, which is a team with Goody and Relic and Derp and some others that I can never quite remember off the top of my head, but I do definitely know them. They like to go for the Omni Knight Jakiro, both before 6.83 and during it. And we also have the Puck, which Puck maybe not too happy right now about that pick that comes out, as the Night Stalker is second with buffs to Crippling Fear. Can definitely be a nightmare for a hero like Puck.
Yeah, you're seeing Night Stalker make a comeback as an offlaner, which I think is really cool. I mean, this hero just has a ton of potential for aggressive play, and you know he really is strong at a part of the game, that 20 to 30 minute mark that in 6.82 was kind of a void. I mean, you tended to see gigantic lulls in the action, and I think Night Stalker is really a cure for that. Puck, though, it's interesting to me because we've seen a lot of Puck lately. But Puck really has struggled. He's under 40% in the current patch and has just had some really, really bad games. But a lot of top-tier teams still going to that Puck pick.
Yeah, and putting him in the offlane quite often as well. It seems to be like any hero that comes back into Dota is like, you know, we'll just shove him in the offlane. Buy boots and, like, don't die. We see, obviously, it happened with Void, right? Like, that's how he really came back into the fold.
Yeah, but I mean, Void's one thing, right? Void has an escape. I mean, Puck's fine, right? But Night Stalker as an offlaner just seems crazy to me. But I mean, it's worked a couple times now that I've seen. I mean, Come With Me came in as a stand-in and played it beautifully the other day. So I believe that was for VP Polar when Mag was having some connection
well,
issues.
he's strength, so he's got a decent amount of HP to work with, and I believe his armor is fairly high. So
yeah, I mean, he's
survivable. He's no Tidehunter, for instance, where like you can just run away, crack and shell, and like whatever, no one does any damage. And that's why Tide is banned, because that hero is ridiculous. And actually, let's look at some of the other bans quickly before we get too far ahead. Skadi is taking out, on like both sides pretty much. Skadi takes out some initiation. They'll take the Storm Spirit and the Phantom Assassin with the blinks and the crits. She can get pretty dangerous. And then it's Lycan and that Faceless Void that Boreal will take out. Picking up that Lion, also a hero that has been folded into the meta quite recently.
Yeah, I love this here. I mean, he's 58% in the current patch, and we're starting to see him really take over some games. Haven't seen as much of him in the solo mid role as I had hoped. I was really praying for a Dendy solo mid line over the weekend. Did not get to see that, but this is definitely a hero that's shown that he can dictate games from the support position. And I said all carry bands, by the way. Storm Spirit is increasingly been played as a carry recently in the safe lane. So really still pretty open for both of these teams, I feel like. I mean, you still, with this lane composition, you still could put Lion solo mid, although I don't think you'll see that in this match. But both teams doing really good jobs at drafting without giving away too much information.
Yeah, the problem with Lion, again, trying to go middle is he's got no escapes. Like, if you just picked a game where you could roam on mid constantly, I think you'd shut that line down completely. And if Lion dies a couple times, he's not someone that can just, like, quickly get farm. So I think it's better to have him as that support role with the new base damage, just zoning people, making them respect you. And if they go a little too far, you stun them up and follow it up with the rest of your team.
No, I mean, I think that's probably right. I still feel like he can. I mean, he's a dangerous enough hero with those multiple disables. He's not an easy gank, right?
That's true, yeah.
But exactly as you say, right? Earthshaker. So we're seeing one of the heroes that really could create maximum problems for the solo midline. You get that Earthshaker, that capability of long range initiation, and yeah, that's where the hero really gets a lot of vulnerability.
Or that Mirana that I'm kind of just expecting to see. Well, maybe not if Earthshaker and Venge are going to be the support roles, which I would say seems likely, but it doesn't have to be the case. And now we see Shadow Fiend coming out from Boreal.
Yeah, there's your solo mid almost certainly. And right now, by the way, I say that solo mid Shadow Fiend is a thing just because he needs to be protected so much. And I mean, you're pretty much going to see, I think, the whole team geared around protecting this Shadow Fiend. He's just he's such a vulnerable hero. Exactly. I mean, he is one of those heroes. He's one of the 3 or 4 highest GPM heroes consistently. But, you know, like a Naga Siren, I mean, he's a very greedy hero, and he takes a lot of farm from the rest of his team. Fortunately, you know, with the Puck and a Lion, I mean, Puck and Omni Knight, you want some farm on, but they're not heroes that are useless if they don't have farm.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, if a game is going to go late, though, you need to make a clear transition of giving farm to your Omni Knight, because that's the hero. Like, he's not doing damage, but he's probably going to win the game for you if it goes late enough with that Guardian Angel. And this is, well, maybe not anymore with Medusa, the ultimate late game carry.
Well, ultimate late game carry, and I mean, we're seeing her more and more. Like, we're seeing Hvost and Illidan over the weekend get Lincoln Spheres on the Medusas at like 15 or 16 minutes and have Lincolns and Yasha at 20 or 21. And I mean, even that early in the game, if you get those items up early on this hero, she can just walk into fights and just shoot people. And there's just not much you can do at that point. And that's kind of what I worry about with a Shadow Fiend against a Medusa. I mean, Shadow Fiend has got to have a lead in this matchup, or he can just get really in huge trouble, because, I mean, Boreal can focus on the Medusa, but if Skadi focus on the Shadow Fiend, they're going to kill him so much faster. And it boils down to that. It gets that simple in these fights.
There's a lot of damage to deal with the Medusa, though. Let's say late early game going into the mid game, you're going to have the Puck jump in, probably Omni Knight to heal, so pure damage coming in, and then the Finger of Death.
Yeah.
Like, Medusa should be dead, even with the ridiculous amount of damage that the Mana Shield will block. And it doesn't look like Skadi have room in their lineup for a Wisp. I know we see Wisp Medusa quite a bit, and in some of those strats, I know the Australians, the Can't Say Whips boys, will build that Lincoln's just straight into a Rapier and get that at 20 minutes, which is really hard to deal with. Did that happen in DAC? I thought I tuned in to hear someone talking about it, but I don't think it happened.
So there were I believe 2 different games where they went Lincolns into Yasha, into Rapier, but they did get that Yasha first. And now, okay, so Boreal's saying, all right, you know what? All of a sudden, that Skadi lineup took a very greedy turn with the Medusa pick. So, you know, we're going to go full greed of our own. I mean, these are, I believe, Tiny might be in there, but I believe that these are the 2 highest GPM heroes out there. Yeah, okay, so Tiny and Sven, just by virtue of having only 2 games played in the current patch. But yeah, AM's up there at about 630 GPM, and Shadow Fiend's up there at 6, just even with Terrorblade. So I mean, these are just 2 heroes. It's going to be critical for Boreal to get map control and keep map control early on, or these 2 heroes just are not going to reach their potential.
And
Wow.
the Phoenix pick. What a draft. So the first
This is
7
awesome.
picks, I thought this was just going to be an extreme bloodbath. But then seeing the Medusa and the Anti-Mage, I'm like, well, you know, now teams both have an option to take it slow if they need to. And now the Phoenix coming in the last pick. Who knows what's going to happen. But looking at Anti-Mage Medusa, I mean, he's obviously got, like, mana burn built in. I mean, do you think he is sort of just the answer to Medusa?
Anti-Mage?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a funny thing. On paper, he should be, but just in the games I've seen, I've not been that impressed because Anti-Mage is not a hero that wants to be in a stand-up fight.
At least
Hold
not
on a second, let
until
me mute co-broadcaster here.
when he's... Oh, yeah, that's probably annoying. Sorry.
Duh.
I should have given you the heads up. But it's not like you're new to casting. You can't pretend.
Yeah,
You've done
I
it
know.
enough.
It's totally my fault. No, I mean, the thing is, like I was saying a minute ago, Medusa can get to this point where if she's not pressured in lane, she can get into a stand-up fight around, you know, the early 20s. And that is most of the time before Anti-Mage really wants to stand a fight. I mean, even when Anti-Mage has that Battle Fury and mana up, he still wants to make his hay by split pushing. He still doesn't necessarily want a team fight yet. And that's what I worry about, that Medusa can just get to the point where she can stand in the middle of a team fight and wreck face a lot faster than AM can.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for them to even find the damage if Phoenix here, Jeeves, is landing those fire spirits. The attack speed is going to be so mitigated.
yeah.
But, well, maybe it won't matter too much if Omni Knight and Lion can sync up their damage onto that Dusa. But let's, before we get too far into things, we'll see the battle for the top rune. We'll try to get some introductions.
Bottom here, my first blood.
470 might be the first blood. He will be able to jump to the high ground, but he threw out an attack. Now he's moved back into the trees. A slight heal coming in, but Illust is going to be moving up the hill, and it's going to be 4
3 to the
seconds. I don't think he's going to have it in time. They're going to find him. They'll void up. He'll try to throw the orb, but he
He's
will
got it!
actually get out away from 4 people.
What a play.
And it looks like, well, that puck, yeah, it was destined for the offlane. I mean, 470 is that offlane player. And we'll start with the introductions with that, I suppose. So narrowly surviving. He'll just go back to base. That's 470 on the puck. Mid lane, KVH. Very, very solid player here playing on that Shadow Fiend. It'll be Lion in the bottom lane played by Loki. He'll be protecting that Anti-Mage, that's 747. And Omni Knight support. Maybe going to duo in the offlane for a little while. That's going to be Footsie. If you want to mention the Skadi players.
Yeah, we've got Elon on the mid Night Stalker. Oh, a little action down bottom as Jeeves is going to mix it up for the second time with this Lion and AM duel already on his solo offlane Phoenix. And then we've got the safe lane, tri-lane around that Medusa. We've got Iraj on the Earthshaker, Illust on the Vengeful Spirit, and the big snake lady herself is Korean Barbecue.
Delicious.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, looking at this Phoenix matchup, though, this lane, it kind of sucks for Phoenix because the
Yeah, it
hero,
really
you don't
does.
really think about it, but after a couple levels, Phoenix becomes very mana dependent on launching the
Yeah.
Fire Spirits and also like Sunray. So having the mana burn in the lane, it is not great. But we'll see a wraparound up top. Araz just making sure 470 has to pay some respects
Standards
to the
are out.
Earthshaker.
Yeah, but Earthshaker needs to be careful here. He's only got 1 tango left, and this puck is going to... That's a lot of harass. That's too much harass to eat right there.
Yeah, I don't know if that trade was too great. He can maybe stack a camp and just roll back, or they'll run into Illust. They do have the mana here, so a stun into a Fisher is what they're going to go for. It's going to keep him stunned.
Yeah.
Good chain stunning, and they'll get the
Oh,
attacks.
very nice.
And that's the first
Very
blood
nice.
from Iraj, so he baits in the puck.
Yeah, that was a very nice bait. I mean, a little bit of overconfidence by the puck there. He needs to be aware he's up against a double stun lane. But yeah, he had got that Earthshaker down to the point where, you know, an orb and a right click might kill him. Just a little bit overextended.
All right, so let's talk about Night Stalker a little bit. Seeing the 2 gauntlets, it looks like he'll probably transition into an urn. But are there any items in particular that, I guess, looking at stats you find effective, or even just personally you like to see on the Night Stalker?
You know what? I'd actually like to see people try Medallion on him more often. Urn, obviously, I mean, Urn is maybe my favorite item in the game. And I think it goes very well with Night Stalker's nice timing. It gives you at least the option to be active early on.
Yeah, I mean, I like Urn, or I mean, either one of those items just for the mana regen would be pretty nice. Probably not both, because you can get into the awkward I've built too many cheap items phase of the game.
No, that's true. That's very true. Now, what do you think about Aghanim's on Night Stalker?
It's still just the view, right? Like the
Yeah.
increased
Yep.
vision.
Yep.
I mean, I think vision's a very powerful tool in high-level competitive Dota. It's just like, if you need Night Stalker to be damaged, I don't think it's your item.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It seems like just still a situational item to me rather than a core.
It's awesome,
Nice
though.
spaceship by the puck.
Easily countered by Coddle with Aghanim's.
Whoa.
You know, when that hero gets played, ever.
Interesting to me that that Loki 57 down here has chosen not to level his Mana Drain.
I mean, I would assume he just keeps one in Hex and will start putting points to the Earth Spike and the Mana Drain when he gets them now. But that's going to be pretty annoying. Not only will Loki be able to bring down at least one of the Medusa illusions later on, he can also, if she's stunned up, drain that mana while Anti-Mage is hitting her. So there's definitely a way to
look
get
at the
through.
harass here.
Well, actually, Bob up top is going to be in trouble. Chain stun
no.
one more time. He will
Jesus
get that orb
dead.
off. And actually downstairs, I really thought that kill was going to happen top. They will find Jeeves, though, in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I was watching that the whole time. Just kind of the same thing there as the puck. Just getting a little bit overconfident, being able to put a lot of harass on a support, and not realizing that that support has another hero right there.
Yeah,
Here comes the Night Stalker. This is really interesting. Before even the urn, just the bottle gets a little bit unlucky, slowed by the Banshee on the way, and he's going to rethink this right away.
That pesky ghost. That thing's so annoying, the frost attack.
Oh, I hate that.
It's got me killed quite a few times. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the too early of a Night Stalker rotation. See with that 6 armor what he can maybe get done under the tower. Lion is... He's the easy kill as long as Night Stalker gets that silence off first. Otherwise, there's enough disable that maybe he runs into trouble. Tower takes too many tower hits. But we won't see it yet.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Night Stalker gave up on that so quickly. I mean, this Lion... Wow, and now we're getting to the point where the Phoenix really is putting some good harass, even with that death.
Yeah, he can do quite a bit of damage, but he's going to get sheeped up here, or frogged up with the Hex, the Earth
and he's
Spike,
dead again.
and it's going to be another kill. He's trying to get one more Fire Spirit, and that will get him the kill
nice.
first, so Jeeves does get some of that experience, but immediately he's cleaned up there by the Anti-Mage. That's decent. I think finding a kill 1v2, but it depends on who you're feeding, right? Giving Anti-Mage a kill is never a good thing.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. Anti-Mage not sitting on his boots and Ring of Health and 500, 600 gold at the 5-minute mark. You know, that's never a hero you want to give a kill to. But yeah, this is a problem I have a lot, that you underestimate the damage output of the Phoenix. You know, those 3 points in Fire Spirits already at level 5. That's a lot of damage on a support.
Yeah, and he's going for the standard build. Just the 2 in Icarus Dive. He'll probably, he'll get his ultimate at 6, then put his next point in Fire Spirits, and then probably start putting into the Sunray. Which gets to the question of what do you build on Phoenix? Because if you do go for the Sunray build, you need a lot of mana. Mech is a popular item, which also takes a lot of mana. You're going against all this mana drain. I mean, it can be a tall order. You're going to have to choose carefully if you're going to use your ability or maybe throw the mech.
Omni's got to watch out here. He's only level 2. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he has not got a lot. He's got a little bit of help here. If they can find a multi-person Earth Spike here with that Lion, but now they're chasing him up the hill. And they'll back off. They're actually getting Pincer down here at the bottom rune, and the Shadow Fiend's going to come over. He's got the most last hits in the game. He's 41-24. Jeeves does get to the high ground. I don't think they quite realize that. Oh, he's throwing Fire Spirits. They see it now. Lion goes for the Earth Spike.
I don't believe he did that.
At first I thought it was an auto attack, but then he definitely threw the Spirits. And the Raise!
Oh my god!
A millisecond too late. He's going for the long... I feel like he... Maybe it was cooldown or what. I feel like he could have thrown it from here and had it in time. They double check, eating down the trees just in case, but the Phoenix, as we know, is gone. And let's see, the people that did die, it was Footsie on the Omni Knight that went down.
Yeah. So 3-3 knotted up here. Pretty good game here in the outset. Still, though, that Shadow Fiend and that Anti-Mage getting a lot of farm early. I mean, the Medusa holding her own, but that Night Stalker is really
that's not good. The hero with 0 catch-up mechanics, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Besides snowballing at nighttime killing heroes, but probably not going to happen.
Oh, my goodness.
Or maybe it will happen. Who knows? There's a Raj right behind him looking to throw down the Fisher if he needs to, just to be able to retreat out. They're lucky no one else TPs. What's Puck at? Yeah, Puck's not 6 yet. If Puck was 6, I feel like 470 rotates, and that would have been a very costly dive for Skadi.
Yeah, but is the risk return really there, right? You're having your Earthshaker stand around for the possibility of diving a level 2, now level 3 Omni down under a tower. I mean, I feel like if you're going to roam an Earthshaker, if you're going to sit there waiting for that perfect Fisher, it's got to be for a higher value kill than that.
Yeah. He sees KVH.
Level 8 Shadow Fiend, though? What are you going to do?
Just let him know you're there. You know, you're playing Earthshaker. Got some abilities.
The egg might die. Oh, my God, they killed the egg.
Dude, I don't know. Egging alone, I guess if you land the fire spirits, then you throw the egg and you have a chance. But
that's got to be a huge misplay.
oh, Araj, there's a bit of a misplay going on here as he was looking at the high ground. He was seeing KVH farming. The Fisher blocks out his Night Stalker, and there was nothing else to deal any damage. Now Lion rotating over off the bottom lane to catch the Earthshaker as he tries to retreat out, but he cannot do so. Yeah, KVH picking up second kill.
Yeah, that's the other drawback of standing there as a level 3 Earthshaker, kind of waiting for that level 4 now, waiting for that Fisher on the Omni Knight, is that you got all these higher level heroes that you don't see on the map that can just kind of run into you and, oh, hey, look what I found.
I thought they were rotating down onto Jeeves. Jeeves has the Icarus dive, but that's easily canceled out by a hero like Lion, and yeah, he's not getting anywhere. He's going to be turned into the fish. Earth spiked, and the damage from KVH, no problem. Easy kill. Onto a killing spree right now with the most last hits in the game. KVH is dangerous. He's gone for a Midas, and he still has 1,400 gold in the bank.
Yeah. And this is already danger time for SDK. And I mean, I say that not necessarily just because of the gold lead. I mean, 4,000 at 9 minutes is big, but just you look at this composition, this lineup from Boreal. This is a composition that if you let them have a lot of farm, a Shadowfiend and an Anti-Mage in the first 10 minutes of a game, oh man, they can snowball on you so hard.
Yeah, they've got maybe enough to kill one person in terms of like the damage that Skadi can put out, but I don't think they can kill both. Like if Shadowfiend and Anti-Mage show up to a team fight at like the 25-minute mark at this point, it could get a little dicey. Let's look at Medusa. We haven't talked about her too much. There hasn't been much action in the top lane for Medusa and Puck, except for like the early First Blood. But Korean Barbecue, he's got FaZe Aquila and a band of Elven Skin, probably going into the Yasha, and then the Lincolns, I guess. And he's got some backup. There are 3 heroes behind him trying to push down the tower.
Yeah, and they need something at this point. They realize that they're giving up a lot early game to a lineup full of carry heroes. They need to get something here. They need to make sure that Boreal don't have map control.
I'm looking forward to Venge hitting 6 because I think the Fisher to the swap out on Puck is probably going to be quick enough to throw the damage on. They didn't quite have it right there, so Puck just escaped.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I mean, swap obviously one of the big impact skills. I mean, there's a reason that you see Venge pick so often, and swap is obviously a big part of it.
Yeah, and everyone that has to play Venge probably hates that. I don't know. The hero is obviously one of the best in terms of supports.
Yeah, Reeves has just been out of position a couple of times. I mean, not necessarily huge errors, but boy, when you're against that Lion AM lane, obviously one of the biggest farmers in the game and a support hero that benefits so much from XP early on.
Oh, they're trying to get 470. I think with the dots lined up, they will just be able to. Yeah,
very
Jeeves
nice.
Is going to line
they
it in.
Needed that
is he going to have the egg? No, he'll live.
No, he's okay. He's okay.
He went for the Tranquil, so he does have quite a bit of armor, and he was around the Aquila, so he had 6, but the hero does have 0 by default.
Man, but Shadowfiend is level 11. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, 2 higher than anyone in the game. Even his own Anti-Mage is at level 9, and also at 9 is the Dusa. We see Alan here at level 8 on the Night Stalker. He's 4th in experience, but look at his last hits, only 40. He's been doubled up this entire game.
Yeah, and he had to catch up to get to 40. He's had a couple of minutes here while the Shadowfiend's been doing stacks in the jungle and roaming around, and he's caught up a little bit, but still, this Shadowfiend is snowball out of control, and they're doing what they have to do. I mean, they have to find a kill on SF right now.
Yeah, and SF did go for the Boots of Travel. I mean, the item definitely has its merits, but...
No, that's weird. I'm not in love with it. Midas bot's way too greedy right now, and Lion will lead a kill. Okay. Oh, no, Lion will... Oh,
no, Lion got the kill, yeah. Finger of Death off in the mid lane, and that kind of dissuaded Illust and Elan from going in, but now they will look for KVH. They're going to throw out that silence. Will he be able to run away? No! Vengeful Spirit finds the kill, and that's big. That'll slow down the Shadowfiend for a little while, but does have the Boots of Travel, so now when you kill him, send him home. You're not forcing him to buy 100 gold TP. Like, I don't know. It can work out, but I agree. This does stink of greed.
And that's 1,600 XP, too. That gets the Night Stalker to level 9. That gets the Vengeful Spirit halfway through her level 6. I mean, that's just a huge injection of resources that they desperately needed.
Now they're looking to brawl. They're going to find Jeeves, but Iraj with a beautiful Fisher over onto 2, which means 470. You're going to get silenced up with the Crippling Fury. You'll be brought down now. Chasing over to Loki. He'll try to juke into the tree line and will not be successful. No Force Staff yet. He'll fall. So a nice rotation from Skadi down to this bottom lane to bring it back to an even scoreline at 7-7. But if we do check the graphs, they actually even bringing it back a little bit there. It was about 4,500 net worth lead for Boreal and 5,000 experience.
Yeah, I know. XP is the one at this point that can really fluctuate quickly. Those bounties really do kick in at this point in the game, and you can see Skadi's heroes catching up in levels just really, really fast. Oh man, and Jeeves here is going to challenge the SF alone in his own jungle. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to have to throw the egg. God. He's at ground 0 over Requiem, and they're going to be able to attack him down. The level 1 egg not quite as good. If you do find yourself on Phoenix getting tons of levels, though, that egg is pretty devastating.
I mean, it's a great dodge of the Requiem of Souls, but yeah, you've got to expect TP support at that point.
Oh well. Phoenix getting a little overzealous on that one.
Yeah, that's a shame because, again, I mean, that's about the last hero that you want to be feeding kills to.
Yeah.
Don't understand. I mean, this Lion at level 8, that's pretty potent at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's all the supports. It's Omni Knight's suffering the most, which is kind of generally the case.
Oh, they're going to get...
Wow. That's a big kill here for Skadi. I'm not sure what Anti-Mage, if he was just trying to creep skip on this tower to help with the push.
And he is going to go. It looks like he might be going the Aghanims first. Look at this, with the point booster already on Elon's Night Stalker.
Yeah, I guess he's going to just rely on giving that vision, keeping them alive, dodging any ganks, and then just rely on that Medusa for the real damage. I mean, Medusa on the front lines with an egg behind it, that does sound pretty scary. Yeah,
besides the fact that remember that Vengeful has unimpeded vision for those swaps, too.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very hard to fight them at night, despite the resource lead that Boreal have. Oh my gosh, look at Elon just being a man!
Oh, there's a Finger of Death right here, though. That's going to get him pretty low. He's also coiled up. And
oh, good idea. Too late.
Who did Illust actually even swap there?
Illust swapped the Night Stalker. He almost saved him, but yeah.
I think he killed him because he broke the coil.
Oh yeah, that might have been true. Now, if he had eaten like one less auto attack, I think he might have lived through that, but it was very close.
All right, well, of course, at 15 minutes with the game that 747 had, that Battle Fury is completed, so now we know where Anti-Mage will be pretty much in the jungle, moving between the lanes, pushing the lanes across the river, back to the jungle, etc. Looks like, ooh, they'll find a Raj out in the middle lane, taking his mana away quick.
Wow.
Lining up the damage from the Mana Void rank 1, which is not great, but it'll do enough there.
Yeah, it's funny, but, I mean, we talk about feeding Anti-Mage being such a bad idea, and of course he's got a 15, 16-minute Battle Fury here with already 900 gold, but, you know, look at this line. He's level 9. He has a Blink dagger at 16 minutes into the game. That's actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah, Blink can be a game winner on that hero. Like, you need to catch a hero like Medusa sort of off guard, and now when you jump in with the Hex, like, Medusa's going to be in some trouble. Going for this Yasha first, she's nowhere close to the Lincolns, and looks like Night Stalker was on someone's scent, but will not go across the river.
Yeah, interesting pop of the darkness there. Yeah, this is the point in the game where that cooldown is still pretty important.
I can't remember. It's daytime, so using it in day regardless is still pretty good. That's sort of the new meta with darkness.
That's true.
Use it in the daytime. So I don't think much was lost. Maybe he could have found a kill, but unfortunately didn't. 747 and a 470. 470 does not have a lot. That's one thing that hasn't gone great for Boreal. Actually, bottom lane will have to go. Look, KVH is in some trouble here. He'd love to just TP away. He went Blink Dagger. This guy is paper right now.
Yeah, it's just a really weird build. I mean, you know, this is like an Arteezy pub build or something. I mean, it's great if you feel like you're that much better, but boy, it's a very, very difficult build to play in a game like this where you can expect some initiation from the other side. Merlini approved.
Well, then we can't argue with that. Here's 470 looking to throw down, I think, what will be the second coil of the game. He'll get in on one. He didn't quite hit the Dusa. And now Salamin says Raj as he drops the ultimate, and that's going to bring down the Anti-Mage, and Puck not able to get out of this one, just burning alive to the Phoenix. So it's Raj and Jeeves that are both pick up the kills up top and giving Skadi now the kill advantage. Boreal just lost 3 of their cores.
I just don't believe they did that. I mean, right now, Earthshaker he was 1,000 gold off his Blink Dagger. I mean, that hero is pretty useless at that point unless you try and initiate into him. And they were a click or two away from killing him, which would have been great, but they couldn't kill the Earthshaker, and then they ate his full combo.
Combo.
Well, it sure broke him. That's evident.
Did. Too bad Illust
And-
isn't on the Earthshaker. We played Street Fighter for like an hour before these casts.
Oh man.
He is better than myself. But I'm getting there. All right, TP is coming in top. That's going to be 470. Back to trying to find some farm. We look at Footsie, the poorest man in the game right now. Only 1.6k to his name. And yes, thank you, Cart.
Oh.
There's the
Oh.
Boots of Speed
Wow,
and
what a
the
stat.
Soul Ring. Yeah, you know, I'm learning. I've only got like 100 hours on the game. Last time I played, I didn't even get a victory, so... No, it's a work in progress, guys.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, well.
All right, Shadow Fiend is
Man,
hiding in the trees.
These stats guys, where do they get off, huh?
I don't know, man. Stop bringing
Oh,
them
there's
on.
AM.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah, he gets the tower up top. I'm a little concerned that KVH is doing nothing right now, just sitting in the trees with this greedy build. I mean, he's got a lot already. He's still top of the net worth, so he does have, I guess, some time to just do nothing. But he's been ganked up quite a few times. Is he waiting on Boots of Travel to cool down or what? No, that's there as well. And they... Okay, no, that's pinging himself.
Interesting though that it looks to me Boreal's going for like these split push builds, right? So AM got his Vlads after his battle period instead of going for
Wrong
his
decision. KVH,
Oh,
I mean, I guess playing in the trees there is okay. Just buying some time. He thinks they're around. He's like, all right,
But-
I've waited enough. Let me blink into the lane, and they were all still there.
But this is right. This is exactly what I was about to say, that they're going for these split push builds against a team that, despite the fact that they're down in farm, SDK does have the heroes to force the action right now, and they're just getting picked off. And I mean, when you go for these split push builds on your Shadow Fiend and your Anti-Mage, especially with a farm lead, I mean, you can't. These pickoffs are huge.
Yep, that egg now, Supernova, up to rank 2. So that got buffed in 6.83 as well, right? Now taking 8 at rank 2.
Yeah, that's a huge difference too in terms of its durability. You were saying that earlier.
Yeah, and the Ags came out just now for the Night Stalker. They'll use it for this push. I mean, let's go to their vision. I mean, look at that. They can see all the way to this line right here.
Yep.
So pretty hard. I mean, who's the initiation? It's really just Puck or Lion.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that SDK has what they need to force the action here, and Boreal is gone with these builds that aren't strong in a fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I don't know. They needed to, I think, find some more... Like, the line got Blink Dagger and then nothing happened.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah.
has fallen.
And maybe it
But
was
I
just
think
a
it's-
combination of some fights went south and then they lost their sort of...
Well, they had a couple of pickoffs go wrong, but
Yeah.
I mean, remember that the value of a blink on your Lion depends upon your cores being farmed, and there you go. Lion's just going to give himself up there.
Middle tower has fallen.
It's alright. They'll at least... Him dying and the tower not being denied, maybe even.
I'm not sure. I mean, again, levels matter, and that's a level 11 Lion. That's not your ordinary. You know, Omni Knight is your regular level 8 support. Maybe a kill on him is no big deal, but you know those kills add up.
Yeah, Lion back in 15 seconds, and there is no Echo Slam right now, so maybe if Skadi looked to be a little over-aggressive without, you know, some big damage coming from the Echo. They still, of course, they do have the mech on the Phoenix, so I'm not too surprised Phoenix went for that. The Supernova there as well, costing 200 mana, the mech being 225, that's pretty much all he can do. Illust swaps himself in, can't get out. And now the Stone Gaze will go in along with the Fissure. Is it going to turn anyone to stone? It turns Footsie to snow. Loki in trouble as well. He's going to burn down from the egg more than likely. It'll be Alon to get in there with that last hit. So the two supports down for the count. There's no glyph. And it's Skadi that are pushing the high ground right now. But Anti-Mage doing what Anti-Mage does. He went for that Vlad's after the Battle Fury, and he's about to get himself a tier 3. Does not care what Jeeves has to say, but it is slowing things down immensely and almost gets the deny.
Tower has fallen.
Meanwhile... Okay, they fell
Stone
back.
Gaze is just so ownage. That is, if you have any kind of AoE control with that spell, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it definitely hurts.
Dire's
I feel like
top tower
Axe
is
and
under
Stone
attack.
Gaze would be a good combination.
But let's take stock of what just happened, right? I mean, this is a Boreal team, okay, that's up. They're up by 4,000 in net worth, and they just gave up 50%, over 50% of the health on their tier 3 mid tower.
Yeah, I don't think they fought because they were
kinda scary.
I think they were happy with the trade up top. They got a lot of damage under that ranged Rax, and they took down the tier 3.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
true.
the next time they go for it, it's probably Boreal that takes a Rax.
I don't know. It scares me a little bit. I think you're probably right about them getting the best of the trade, but it scares me a little bit as a team that has a lead and has these two really strong heroes that are both doing really well in the game. I mean, you don't want to be giving up material in your base right now.
That is true. There's only 23 minutes. It's only going to get harder. Although, I feel like the structured trading does favor Boreal, as we already mentioned.
Yeah.
They went for these like extreme rat Dota builds with like the early boots of travel.
No, you're right.
Up on the anti-mage.
And Anti-Mage now has his Yasha up in addition to his Vlads. SF just completed his BKB. He's going to have that 10-second charge in his back pocket for the next engagement. And they're going to go ahead and push here. And this is probably the right move if they can get their heroes grouped properly.
I'm curious as to what happens if we have ourselves a 5-on-5 fight.
And we are going to have a 5-on fight right now, and they knew where the AM was.
Well, we were about to until KVH got cold feet and just boots have traveled out of there.
Oh, crippling fear!
Bob's in trouble. Bob Esports, 470 going down. I'm going to get silenced up for, what is it at 9 times? 7 seconds. Like, good luck. You're dead. Hero like Puck does not have 7 seconds.
No, not
at
even
any stage in the game.
I mean, he was as fast as he could be. He already had that orb out. I mean, I don't think the phase shift would have made any difference.
And after the Yasha, the Manta comes for the anti-mage, so he's got that going for him. The next item, I don't know, probably, what do you want to see him go for? BKB, Heart, Basher?
I think any of the above would be fine. Heart's a little bit too much into the rat for me. I mean, I think you can go ahead and go Basher here and start looking to take him in a stand-up fight.
The Fusel's still an orb effect, right?
Yeah, it does not stack with other mana burn abilities.
Okay.
It's no longer
it's no longer an orb, but you can't double it up with other mana? Okay, that's probably good.
It's no longer a unique attack modifier, but yeah, it doesn't stack with...
I feel like that category of ability is slowly dying out. I mean, like, what is even left, honestly? Seems to have been the go-to buff for a lot of heroes. Like, you look at Ursa, you look at Clinks.
What's that?
Like, taking away their ability being unique attack modifiers.
Yeah, I think it's a really good change. It opens up a lot of optimization. Man, nice. Oh, wow.
Ooh, and that's going to slow them down, too. They'll be a little slower trying to re-engage to save Illus, but they are still trying to re-engage. It's going to be 4-on-1, a KVH, still the top net worth in the game, still the highest level. Too. And yeah, it was a 10-second BKB charge, and he kills just a support. But now they're going to have to TP, because look at this anti-mage. It's like, oh, a free Rex. How nice of you guys. I'll take it. And he'll go ahead and TP himself out. Doesn't look like... Well, Raj could have, taken a shot in the dark. But, oh, actually, no. Fisher was on cooldown.
Yeah, he used the Fisher to kill the SF.
Could have maybe Blink echoed if he had actually known where he... Well, they should have known, right? Like, Night Stalker's here.
Yeah, but I was getting a little bit worried for Boreal here for a minute, but really it's boiled down to the AM and the Shadow Fiend have had just enough time to get those next items online. The Shadow Fiend getting that BKB online is obviously huge because SF obviously a hero that just does a lot of damage due to his kit and getting levels. He doesn't necessarily need a big damage item quite yet at this point. So they've got enough that I think they're going to be fine here, and those split push builds, as you saw, are starting to really pay off.
Yeah, because of the kills, experience is pretty much equilibrium, but looking at gold, it's Boreal. He just... poor Phoenix.
Reeves was just like, hey, there's an anti-mage. Oh, oops. I forgot.
Right, not on my team.
I forgot Mana Void got buffed like 4 straight times.
Did the conversion to damage get buffed, though? I thought it was just the radius and the stun. Or not even the stun, but...
I want to say that the damage got buffed at least a little bit, but it just feels like that ability now is a staple of AM's arsenal. I mean, a lot more AM players are looking to use that more aggressively.
Yeah, we've been seeing it just used in like the middle of a kill for no reason, like just in case. Even the top level. I forget was it Black that was doing it a lot?
Oh, it's been a number of players. Illidan's been doing it. Yeah, Black, of course.
The reasoning kind of escaped me, but I don't know. Because like if you do it and you don't have something else to cancel a TP, it can get a little dicey. But I guess if they haven't TP'd and you get them low enough that you can just chop them twice, then it doesn't really matter.
But no, I mean, with the 500 radius now, I mean, that spell can just do a crap ton of damage.
Yeah, don't stand next to Storm Spirit if you're playing against an anti-mage, as I had the pleasure of that happening to me.
But she's just not... it comes down to Night Stalker right now.
Look at that Puck being a little cheeky there with the old repel. Could
I
maybe
like
get
this
swapped back, but well, he can get swapped back. I'm not sure how effective
Look at
it is.
AM though.
Yeah, pushing up top.
Yeah, there goes
And
your
looks like
melee
they're just
barracks.
trading it. Both glyphs will go out. The tier 3 will fall in the mid lane, and 470 just buying some time, throwing out the coils. Doesn't have the Ags yet, so it's not going to stun. Alon will run out of it. Now the GA goes. And I feel like it should still hit buildings in proximity, but unfortunately it doesn't. Korean Barbecue pulling out the double kill, and now the Supernova, the egg burning 470. He's got to get out of there. Still being chased down by Jeeves. Araj going to jump in, though, getting 2 into that Echo Slam, following up with the Fisher. He is brought down, but he will find the kill onto KVH. Anti-Mage has come back after cleaning out that top lane completely for Skadi. Skadi will get that melee racks down, so it looks like the trade has been made. Korean Barbecue is still going on. Yeah, still has the edges. Unkillable now up with the Skadi onto a mega kill streak. Make it a delayed triple just for this team fight. But now 747, he'll bring down that Night Stalker. Korean Barbecue is the only one alive, and we'll probably see him die twice here.
Ash too.
Actually, do they have any? They have, okay, just the Basher, so they've got that 25% chance to cancel out a TP, but he's just running back to the base. Will he get there on the second life? They're going for this around with the illusions. They're not going to quite get it. A Manta of his own will allow Korean Barbecue to continue to run. And now that the Phoenix is back into the fray, he goes on to Footsie. The Manta illusions are still running down that Omni Knight. Puck as well involved. 470 still trying to chase. We'll look back over to the Puck. Puck, you got to get out of there. We'll blink. Oh, I don't think he should have canceled that Sunray. Maybe it just ran out. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, that was awfully close.
Well, Medusa is hard to kill. If we didn't know that already.
I thought it was more recent. Okay. Thanks to Cart for the correction there.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, but I mean, good lord. The ironic thing is, right, AM still kills the melee racks, so, Boreal do fine in that trade, but goodness gracious, that Medusa, I mean, you're looking all over, and heroes are taking damage and dying, and all of a sudden Medusa's still at 80% HP with the Aegis.
And some mana, too. And will not even die. 5, 0, and 7. Obviously, they killed the Aegis, but that was it. And we'll look over to the Roche pits. It was just about to run out, too. If they had just waited a little bit longer on killing her, it actually probably would have been the kill. It's back.
Don't kill her yet. Don't kill her yet. That's a pretty accurate timing right there.
That's what separates the boys from the men. Those Roche timers.
But there's the Abyssal from AM, and now I feel like I feel like with that item, they can really jump on and kill any one of these SDK heroes, with the possible exception of Medusa.
I think you just kill everyone else and then deal
exactly.
with
That's
Medusa.
what they did basically in the last fight.
And they could definitely kill the Earthshaker, not letting him get off his Echo Slam. I'm not sure how much Night Stalker is hurting anybody. If anyone, he just kind of hurts the puck.
He's not. That's part of the problem. That's what I was about to say in that last little base push there, is that it comes down to, AM and Shadowfiend have each other for backup. Medusa's got nobody. I mean, their team, apart from Earthshaker's combo, their team just doesn't do that much damage.
Let's see. Now it's going to be hard for Skadi to jump on Loki's Lion because he's got the Yule Scepter up. It's always hard to jump on Anti-Mage. It looks like 470 has been the recipient of the repels, and BKB for KVH on his own. So
yeah, they had the repel on Puck as he initiated in the last fight, and it was a really nice initiation. But again, the right clicks from Medusa still brought him pretty low.
So I guess you just kill the Omni Knight if you're Skadi. It seems like the target to go for, like the only one that's not protected by anything.
Yeah, besides the fact that his spells are really annoying. Yeah.
Unless, because if you can kill him before he gets off the GA, that maybe makes the difference. Like, I don't think Boreal would have won if Footsie didn't get off the Guardian Angel while defending the base.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. And he doesn't even have 1k HP, right? Wow, there's that, man. We are seeing this more and more lately, and I just hate it. I mean, you were seeing more and more Pucks go for that super late Midas, and I mean, I get it. I really do. That Puck, especially on a team like this, where there's just only so much farm to go around, and you have two heroes on your team that just suck farm. So, like, how are you possibly going to get to that cheap stick as a puck? But still, it's a 30-minute minus. I mean, what are the chances that this item pays for itself?
Yeah, I mean, it is a game with an anti-mage and a Medusa, but it is also a game where Rax has already fallen, and those do sometimes tend to accelerate things.
Anti-mage is not a super late game hero. Anti-mage is a hero that gets 6-slotted early and tries to end.
Yeah,
Like,
but what's
Anti-Mage-
is 60?
Anti-Mage
You call
doesn't
50
wanna
minutes
be-
super late? I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm Boreal right now, like, how much stronger are you going to get? If I'm Boreal right now, SF's going to have his butterfly. He's going to have buyback. Why are you not trying to push it in the game right now?
Yeah, I think Butterfly and Helm of Dominator and obviously into a Satanic, if it goes long enough for Shadow Fiend, will make him quite a deal stronger.
But you're not. My point is, I don't think as Boreal, I don't think, especially now that Puck has gone that Midas, I don't think you're going to get much stronger, relatively speaking. Like, all that's going to happen is Medusa is going to get stronger. Earthshaker is going to get his Aghanims. Nightstalker is eventually going to get some damage items up.
I mean, I see your point. Omni Knight, though, Act Refresher.
Yeah, Omni Knight is a pretty big deal, but he's just so far behind.
Yeah, he
this.
is
I mean, he has
really far
12
behind.
last hits, and this hero just he would be Imba if he could farm at all.
Yeah, that's why I like to see teams. Like, I could see him even going for a Midas here as well. Because, like, he's not going to get anything else.
No
so
shit. I would much rather have seen the Midas on the Omni than on the Puck.
Other
Much.
developments, Rapier here on Korean Barbecue.
Whoa.
Looking to slice up some galbay. I believe that's a Korean barbecue meat. It's been a while. You don't really need to cut bulgogi, but whatever.
Dude, you totally lost me. It's cool, though.
Nahaz,
It's cool, though. We
confirmed
got
very
action.
white.
I totally am, man. Even my hair is white. That's how white I am.
It's alright. It's wisdom. You gotta get the touch of gray going on.
Oh, touch? Holy shit.
And do you have that commercial in Canada?
I do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Oh, do you? Fuck you.
Do you have
My
TV in
language.
Canada? I don't know. This
We
frozen
might as well
tundra.
not. It's freaking awful. Anyway.
Alright, 470's in some trouble. Tries to get
He's dead.
a little too touchy-feely with Jeeves Phoenix, and they'll bring him down.
And that should be a Roche.
Yeah, which is gonna be great, says the Medusa. Now that I've built this Divine Rapier, I don't want to lose it. And this is where things maybe get dicey. I guess there's potential for another Rax on Rax trade, but
I just can't believe with AM and SF as farmed as they are, I can't believe that they're just letting the Medusa get big here. I mean, they let her get an Aegis, and I mean, this is they let her get an Aegis, and this game is back to a coin toss.
and I don't think they can contest this without at least the Dream Coil. Like, it's gonna be hard if they want to go into this. It's really gonna be 3v5 because 747 is not there.
Jeez.
He can maybe go for the tier 2
this would be
tower,
insane.
but
Especially because remember that this is where the vision from the Night Stalker. Okay, the AM's gonna try and get a trade inside the base. He's
he's going for tier
He's hitting tier
4s.
4s.
is this
Okay.
gonna force the glyph? They know what's
This is
happened.
the plan. They're gonna glyph this tier 4? No, man.
Illust's effigy is a good one, and the tier 4 will go down.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I don't know. Tier 4s are important, but is he going to get back into that? I don't know if he finds another Rax. I guess he can just try to force a base race if he finds the other tier 4 or
The
something.
big question is whether they can repulse the SDK push right now, because I think Medusa with the Rapier and Aegis is just gonna say, all right, I got a Rapier and an Aegis. What do you got?
I wish Guardian Angel still worked on buildings if they were in the range.
Under attack. Radiant's middle barracks.
I'm kind of really upset that it doesn't protect them anymore. But either way, we're going to have a nice
hey,
Dream Coil. That's
fuck.
going to go out. So this is... Ooh, the Finger of Death goes out, but it's not enough to kill that tanky Night Stalker. And now we've got Medusa with 2 lives. She'll still just err on the side of caution and back out of the base. They've got to get another lane going. Like, look at these 2 lanes. It's here and here. They're all the way pushed in the favor of Boreal. So,
their
like,
base is gonna be in trouble. That's gonna be that's what's gonna save Boreal.
unless Skadi really brute forces their way in through the mid lane, just win a team play, kill people, and then transition. I mean, the only lane they can go to is bottom
I mean,
because
they're
they're still
thinking
at tier
about
2.
it. Look at them. They're kind of hesitating.
They've smoked here. And the defense waits by the tier 4s. By an Earthshaker effigy that says Slammin', and that's exactly what the Earthshaker is looking for right now, and that's Araj. They're going to go creeps in the
They're gonna force
base.
the action here.
And they've got Night Stalker just tanking the tower. Let's see what they can do. The Abyssal Blade goes out, and that will be Alon to
Whoa.
fall. He does have buyback available. Now the fight's going to break out. Slammin'! Araj comes in. Korean Barbecue, wicked sick. Double kill onto the monster
Forget
kill.
it.
Looking for more. This She's untouchable. And Jeeves coming out of the supernova. KVH is there, but will die in just a couple hits. If they connect, let's see what they can do. The Sunray, yeah, that's going to bring it down. Triple kill, making godlike here. The perfect game, perhaps, for Korean Barbecue. Bring it down Susie now. He blinked in. He's only got 1 second left. The bashes are coming into effect right now. That's going to be life number 1. But Lon, the Night Stalker, he bought back, and he's back into the fray. I don't think they've got enough to kill.
Life number 2, though?
Yeah, nothing. They've burned pretty much everything. GA is down. Requiem is down. Finger of Death is up, actually, in 5. I mean, they've got to do something. The melee racks will fall, and I think Korean Barbecue just looks to retreat right now. Illust in some trouble. That's actually that's a big one.
Oh, my God!
Woo! The Mana Void going to bring down 3. And that includes the Medusa, which means Rapier on the deck and right into the hands of KVH. Doesn't need to build damage if the enemy does it for him.
Game-winning spell right there. That Mana Void right as Medusa got down to 0 mana. And boy, oh boy, that just won the game for him right there. Amazing.
That Earthspike was really nice too. He hit 2, and it kept him in that 500 radius. And then it just they all departed. Had to go. And now Antimate's trying to get himself another Rax. It was just the melee cleaned up in the bottom lane, so 7047 goes on to the tier 3, but Medusa's back right now. It does have, obviously, less damage with the Stone Gaze. The Skadi, she's still fairly dangerous.
Yeah, but you don't give a Rapier to an SF. And that's the thing. They'd already lost so much material in their base. And they've got their Boreal is just so strong in split pushing that they were right to go more or less all in there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't criticize too much for building that Rapier. I mean, they had a plan.
Oh no,
get the Rapier into the Aegis.
The Rapier was absolutely the right move. They knew what they were doing, and that was a point in the game where with the Rapier and the Aegis, I mean, the only thing that you can criticize with the biggest problem with the Rapier right there is you weren't guaranteed to get the Aegis.
Yeah. And let's see, another battle. I always call it Battlefield. Another Butterfly comes up. This one on 747. SF has one as well. And let's see, it's going to be 747 running for his life. Even going to blink forward and throw down the Echo Slam just to kill the Anti-Mage. But he'll buy back. Now that everything's been used, Stone Gaze, the Echo Slam.
They're losing health on their Ancient. I mean, this is the thing, that SDK has too many fronts to play defense on right now.
It's going to be pretty tough to protect them all. Maybe Winter will hit and slow down Boreal. But maybe not. Their name is Boreal, so I don't think Winter affects them. Who knows? But they're going up middle.
Next level, man.
Yes. Is Boreal Russia? That's what I was going for, yes. No,
wow.
he gets it, yeah. Well, no, Boreal would be... Skadi would be Russia in that sense. I think that's where my metaphor was going.
You're losing me again, Helium.
It's okay.
It's okay, dude.
I get distracted sometimes. They're just going in the top lane. They're not even worried about it.
I mean, they're really AM and SF can just hit the Ancient right now, basically.
Yeah, Araj will fall. Puck will be able to get out.
They don't really have to fight.
Oh, well, they threw the Abyssal into Korean Barbecue, so I think they wanted to. They'll bring down the egg, so Jeeves not able to do much. And meanwhile, the Creeps doing what's required here. Not going to be distracted by the effigy.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom barracks
That's the problem. I mean, your Ancient's at half health.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Lacarte has studied up. I haven't seen KVH really unload on anyone yet. I think he just killed a Raj with the Rapier, but...
Are you just waiting for it? You're just waiting for the Shadow Fiend ownage.
I am waiting for it. Loki's going to go in, or rather just defend himself.
Here you go. Goodbye.
And KVH. He's got a turn, though. He'll try to throw the Requiem.
Dude!
And now Korean Barbecue's got... Turn around! Just Mana Void. Yeah, okay. Thank you. 1,400 damage coming out from that one, and that's going to be the GG being forced out of Skadi. 29-28. It was Boreal trailing in kills almost the entire game while always leading in net worth, and I think they win it pretty substantially. It looked, unclear, though, who's going to take that for a long time.
I mean, I thought Skadi did a great job to come back and contest this game because, like I said, I thought it was looking like it could get out of control early. Skadi played their fights well in the mid game and did have that one YOLO push with the Rapier and Aegis on Medusa where it looked like they were going to be able to get at least 2 lanes of racks. But a nice hold by Boreal, and from there, they had the items up. They had the Rapier on KVH's Shadow Fiend, and it was academic at that point. But a nice game won here.
Yeah, it was. And we do have another game coming up fairly soon. That will actually be Forsaken versus Together. Should be a pretty well-fought game, I think, coming up in about 15 minutes. But before we get completely into that break, I want to just point out, you can see to my left and right, we've got that Warlock set that comes with the CEVO Season 6 ticket. You can purchase that up. It's $7.99, and it will contribute everything we get, which is 25% of that, to the prize pool. Valve, I believe, is matching it. So it's quite a bit of money that goes in. I think it's about $1 per ticket to that prize pool. So give these players something more to play for. I think the prize pool now is around 3K. I'll have to check. And of course, I'm Helium. You can find me on Twitter at HeliumBrella, and Nahaz here at Nahaz Dota. And we'll be back in just a little bit.